Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all figuring out together how to peace out, right? I hope you're trying to figure out how to peace out. I know it's a work in progress, isn't it? It's like construction work on the roads. It's just always ongoing and never quite get to the end. No, it's not really. Actually, we get a little bit faster. We get a little bit better. We think about it a little bit more. I do anyway. I find myself thinking about it a little bit more and just figuring things out a little bit faster and still my practice has been to package things up in prayer anyway and give it to God, right? And then so I've been trying to do that more quickly. So before I get too far into the devotion, thanks for watching and listening, by the way. I did print out a personal copy of the Year Orange Juice Saved My Life. It's a little easier to show on here. It is only available on Kindle. It's available on Kindle for like $2.99 on Amazon, or it's available as an ebook, which you can print out if you want. I printed out and bound it so that I would have it, and I'll probably take another look at it. But I lived it. It's my personal testimony of how God raised me up from what was inevitable death. My mom planned my funeral, and and then God just stepped in right when we expected it least. God stepped in and healed me. It's a story of, you might cry a little bit. It was real cathartic, is that the right word, to write it. It surprised me. My emotions surprised me when I wrote it out. And I realized how bad it really was, because sometimes when you're going through it, you're so focused on survival, you're not thinking about how difficult it is, right? You're just trying to survive. And so looking back and seeing God's hand, and yes, absolutely, Terry, God is faithful. And it's the story of his faithfulness, how I held on to the word and how I thought I was going to die for sure, and but how God ultimately completely healed me. See, I'm good. And you wouldn't even believe the stuff I went through since that mystery illness. Nobody ever figured out what it was, including myself. And that's okay. All I know is that God healed me, like the blind guy, right? In John chapter 9. I love that. He's like, I don't know anything. I just know I was blind and now I see. So I don't know how it works either. I just know I was sick literally to death, and God raised me up from that sick bed and surprised all of us, right? I love it when God does that, when he just steps in and surprises us with his peace, right? When he steps in and surprises us with his abundance, with his provision, with everything that he is, with his grace. And I don't know why we're so surprised, because we're following him. We're expecting him to be part of our every single day, right? And part of our lives. And then somehow we're surprised when he does it. It's like, oh, there he is. Well, he's always here, right? As a matter, that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. I finished reading Numbers this morning. Man, it's just such a remarkable story of how God brought his people out and how he fed them. He made sure they had water. They had to offer all these sacrifices, so they had plenty of. I don't know how that many people traveled across the wilderness other than the hand of God. And in the end of Numbers, Moses lines out all the places they camped. He did a whole journal of travels, right? We went here, we crossed the Red Sea, we went here, we went here, we went here. Then we went back over here and back over here. And he lined out all of those travels and all those journeys and where they camped along the way. But we're talking about, I think it was 600,000 men. That doesn't count women and children. So we're talking about probably close to 1 million people traveling across. It's like Oklahoma City just getting up and moving over somewhere, right? And it was a massive feat. But God did it. God planned it. He didn't leave them stranded. They didn't die in the wilderness, unless they did it because they were dumb, right? But God, nothing surprised God on their journey. Nothing surprises God on our journeys either. God didn't wake up this morning and go, oh, February 14th, 2024. Oh, I didn't know we were going to get this far, right? It didn't surprise him. He didn't see something happen in our lives and go, oh, I didn't even know that was going to happen. Or he never says, I didn't see that coming. He actively is involved in our day-to-day lives. And we can be as actively involved in it with him as we want, right? He doesn't. He's waiting for us to interact with him. He's waiting. And so after Moses wrote all this down, this is what stuck out to me today was this, because I was like, okay, I know Moses is mentioned in the New Testament, and I'm pretty sure he's in Hebrews 11 with the Hall of Faith. And so I went over there, and it says, Moses kept right on going because he kept his eyes on the one who is invisible. Isn't that a powerful statement? How do you keep your eyes on someone who's invisible? You can't watch something that's invisible. It's like, here's my invisible dog. Take care of it. I mean, you can't watch him. Oh, look, he's going towards. How do you see something that's invisible? You see with your heart. He kept his mind focused on God and what God was doing. He was very persistent in his pursuit of God. And if you look, when you read the Old Testament and the books that Moses wrote, those first 5, the Pentateuch, you'll see that he completely always went back to God in every situation. He was like, oh, I didn't see this coming. Okay, God, what do I do with this? And God gave him an answer. God gave him the wisdom he requested, just like he will give us wisdom to handle our situations too, right? And so, but Moses kept his eye on the one who is invisible. And so when I read that, I thought, man, that's just powerful. That's powerful. I'm going to be meditating on that all day. But then I thought, invisible, I know that word. I've heard that word somewhere before, and it's in 2 Corinthians 4, and it says this. It says, this is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every single day. We don't give up because of what we can't see. We want to give up because of what we can see, right? But the reason we don't give up is what we can't see, and that is God. We can't see his peace. We can't see his grace. We don't see this flood of mercy, and what does it say? Mercy and goodness are chasing me down all the days of my life. We don't look up and go, oh, here they come. Huh? We don't see it, yet it's there. What we see, what we feel, and what's most real to us is when we feel depression, or we feel anxiety, or we feel worry over a situation, or we're not sure how to handle something, and all these thoughts in our head, they're more real because we can perceive them more easily than we can God. But when we stop and go, I know God's grace is right here. I know we focus on what's invisible, God's grace, God's mercy, God's peace, God's presence, right? Then we don't lose heart like Moses didn't lose heart. But it says our spirits are being renewed every day, even though our bodies are dying, for our present troubles are quite small. How does Paul know that? How does Paul know that my troubles are small? I got a long list I could give him and explain to him why this might be wrong. But he says this. He says they're quite small and won't last very long, because they produce for us an immeasurable glory that will last forever. Isn't that amazing? The stuff we're going through, the stuff we feel, produces for us immeasurable glory that's going to last forever. It produces for us. You know what it helps us do? Our situations, and we all have something going on. Mine's not any worse than anyone else's, and no one else's is. It's just what I got to carry. It's just what you got to carry, so it feels the worst, right? And so we can't measure who's got the worst scenario here, who's living in the worst circle. No, we can't measure all that. What we want to do is just go, no matter what we see, we want to focus on what we can't see. And that can be hard to do for this fleshly brain, because our brain wants to say, I can feel these glasses so I know they're real, but where is God? Because we don't see him. But we got to focus on what we can't see. And that's what Paul goes on to say here in the last part of chapter 4 of 2 Corinthians. He says, so we don't look at the troubles we can see right now. Rather, we look forward to what we have not yet seen. Isn't that powerful? Don't focus on, well, now we got to take care of responsibility. I'm not talking about walking blindly through life and acting like things aren't bad, or acting like things aren't difficult. But what we focus on is what we can't see. We focus on what we haven't seen yet. For the troubles we see will soon be over, but the joys to come will last forever. So we've got to take our eyes off of these things we can see. And we've got to put our eyes on the things we can't see. And you know what? My brain goes, that just doesn't even compute. because I'm this analytical person and I've got to divide everything down to its like least common multiple or least common factor even. I got to break it all down, factor it all down, and analyze it all out. And that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to my brain. That's why we got to live from our heart. We got to focus the eyes we can't see on the one we can't see in every situation, and then we have to just trust that He is working in us for our benefit right in the middle of the mess. He never says, get it all cleaned up and come back and I'll see if I can help you. I don't know. Or, no, when you get that all off of your plate, then come back. No, He's with us in the mess. The one we can't see is with us. Jesus was with the disciples in the boat. And the one time He wasn't, He walked out on the water in the middle of the storm to the boat, to His disciples who were in the storm. He didn't say, when the storm's over, I'll come get y'all. All right, y'all be okay? No, He went to them in the storm. That's the God we serve. That's the one we can't see, but He doesn't avoid the storm. He doesn't avoid the fire. He doesn't avoid the problems and the stressors that we have. Instead, He's right in the middle of it, offering us His grace, offering us His peace, offering us His wisdom if we want it. All we got to do is take our eyes off of what is so obvious and so in our face and put it on what we can't see, which messes with the brain. But when we do that, we can go, oh, He's going to give me peace right here in the middle of this. He's going to walk me through this. He's not going to leave me abandoned. He didn't leave Jonah in the well, and Jonah got there by his own demise, right? By his own bad decisions. He didn't even leave Jonah in the well. He went for him. And He will come for us. And He's going to He is so faithful every single day to give us His peace, to give us His grace. His mercies are new every morning. We've got what we need through Him to make it through today. We look at what we can't see, and that's His presence with us right here in time. That's why we can peace out. Peace out, you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll see Jeannie and Alicia later today. Hi, Jeff. See you later.